will start with questions on Zoom. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. And Jacob, you can kick it off.
Thank you, Ryan. Hi, Phoebe. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us today. How are you?
Good. How are you, Jacob?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. First question for me is, last week the club announced that you and the club came to an agreement on a contract extension. So I was just curious to wondering, what does that contract extension mean for you in terms of just your continual growth and development as a player, and the club seeing that progress that you've made to reward you with staying here through 2026?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think apart from just the obvious of job security is the environment that we have here, and the coaching staff is obviously amazing, and a group of people that I have a ton of respect for and look forward to learning from every day. But the veteran players on the team as well are super engaging and super willing to help and super willing to take time out of their days, and they're often busy to help me become better. And I think that's pretty central to the type of team I want to be on. And I feel really grateful that the club has made that investment in me, and that they see me with the future of this team. And I'm so happy to be here.
All right, thank you for that. And then my second question is, after last weekend's loss at Chicago, Laura talked about how the team just wasn't able to start off on the front foot in terms of playing your game and controlling the tempo. I was just curious as to what has the team talked about throughout this week, reflecting on that in preparation for tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's always just kind of one of those things, getting back to the basics of what we do well, and just hammering that home. I think it's probably abundantly clear that we can hang with any team in this league and beat anybody on our best day. So it's about maximizing those best days and making them more frequent, and just having complete performances. Because I really do feel like we put out decent, we played decent soccer at points in that game, and we just weren't able to sustain it for the entirety of it. So staying locked in for 90 minutes and just having that grit, even if it's just coming away with a point, it's just about staying in it and fighting for a full 90.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. And then next we'll take Nico.
Hi, Phoebe. It's
Hey,
Nico with
Nico.
House of Rain. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good too.
Great.
Just wanted to ask about after the road loss in Chicago, if you could talk about how the locker room reacted, how they reflected, and how the team trainings were the following days from the first loss, and how to come back against San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were definitely bummed. It wasn't a happy locker room. I think that those types of games are ones that we'll remember long after this game, further down the road in the season, as ones that kind of got away from us. And I think that mentality has been reinforced in training over the week. I think it's been a quick turnaround with another travel this weekend. So to the extent that we could put in valuable minutes on the field, I really feel like we did. And really just turning the page and getting our preparation set for San Diego, and putting our focus on that, while obviously trying to fix the things that we felt we erred on in the last game.
And second question, at the back, I wanted to get your thoughts on how your teammate Claudia Dickey has been integrating with the team with her relatively new role as a starting keeper since Phyllis Joyce left.
Yeah, I mean, I think Claudes is a consummate professional. I think she brings so much in terms of intensity and energy to our team, and she wants the best for all of us. I think she will continue to grow in her confidence throughout the season, and I think that benefits everybody, especially Claude's. But the ceiling for Claude's is not visible to me. It's so high. So I am super happy that I get to play with Claude's.
Thank you, Phoebe.
Thanks. Nico. Jada, go ahead.
Thanks for the time, Phoebe. I wanted to kind of rewind a little bit to last season, and the way that you worked your way back and were able to work your way into the starting lineup. Can you kind of go through that and your process a little bit? Because I'm imagining that also kind of played a role in you getting the contract you did.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think just coming back from injury, you're just itching to play again. So at that point in the season, it was probably a time where there was a lull in some people's games and like a lull in the sense that it's a long season. And it's hard to sustain for that long. So I think timing really played in my favor, especially with the national team players being gone at certain times. And I was given opportunities that I needed to get in order to put myself in that position. And I think the staff and the whole team recognizes that anybody on this roster on any given day is good enough to make an impact on that field. So for me, it was just about capitalizing on the opportunities that I got and bringing my attributes, which I think separate me from other players, and really trying to showcase that part of my game. Not trying to do too much, just trying to do what I know I'm capable of to the best of my ability. But yeah, I think it definitely did help in terms of the contract extension and putting me in a position to feel confident going into this season.
What was your what was it like for the first start? Like what was that day like? Yeah, what was that?
Gosh, I don't know. I think you're always nervous. I remember it wasn't the first start. It was just the first game that I was dressing for. But just being overwhelmed with gratitude that I was back in a position to do the things I loved with a group of people I respect and admire so highly. So it was all just a lot of gratitude. I was just really grateful. Yeah, point blank, super, super grateful.
And if I could keep going, you what is your game day like? Like what do you do to prepare to get on the field? Any music or anything like that?
I think recently, specifically since coming back from that injury, I've been trying to get my headspace in the best place possible, and that includes meditation, visualization, just kind of all of those things that you might overlook in the excitement of a game day that really can matter and can impact you on the field in those moments. I think I tend to be an overly intense player at times, and my intensity can get me into trouble sometimes. So I think leveling that with a little bit of quietness, a little bit of solitude really helps me just center myself for a game.
All right, thanks, Jada. Any other questions for Phoebe?
Well, I have a couple more if
Yeah,
I can.
go for it, Jada.
It's gonna be me and you, Phoebe.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you don't mind. What does that if I could go a little bit more? I mean, what does that look like? I mean, are you one that's that kind of steps away a little bit from the team in order to get that solitude, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, our game days are broken up into, like, we have meetings and stuff. So just in between those meetings, finding a little time for solitude. I definitely don't want to step away from the team. I think being around my teammates is something that builds investment, makes me feel joyful about the position that I'm in and grateful about it. So I definitely don't mean it in that respect, but just being able to balance my own energy so that I can be in the best position to be the best teammate that I can be. So say we have pregame meal and then we normally have a break before we leave to go get on the bus. I'll take that hour and journal, meditate, visualize, and just make sure that my headspace is in the most productive place that it can be.
Cool. And you have some good players, defensive players that you obviously play with, like Lou and Ilana and Sam at that time was in the starting lineup. What is that maybe communication with y'all, or how did they maybe help you at all? And what's that vibe like between y'all?
Yeah, I think since I've been with the Reign, it's just always been very much so open lines of communication. Even when I was out, I was trying to make sure that I was getting the information that would be pertinent when I was to come back. So I don't think I ever really felt behind in terms of our tactical stuff. I think the biggest adjustment was like reaction time, speed of play in the game, just getting back up to that, like the physicality, all of that stuff. And that more so than the on-field relationships was in my head as I was coming back. Like, oh, am I going to be fit enough to play 20 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever it is that I'm asked to do? Am I going to be able to handle this load? Like, am I going to re-injure myself? Just stuff like that, I think, was more weighing on me. But as far as my teammates, they're all so supportive and helpful. I think we all want the best for each other, and yeah, it's definitely open lines of communication. Asking questions is a positive, and it is encouraged.
And my last thing was, what was your favorite game from last season, like upon a personal level for yourself?
Um, I I guess the semi. Yeah, I mean, I just think the mere fact of us getting to that semifinal, especially given where we were going into the end of the regular season, was it just kind of felt like we were playing with house money at that point, and we could go and be ourselves, and yeah, it was really fun, and I think Snapdragon's an awesome stadium, so I'm excited to play here again, and I just love beating San Diego at home. There's nothing like it. I love quieting a home crowd. It's a really, really cool feeling that really can't be equated to anything else.
Thanks, Jada. And then we'll take one more from Nico.
So speaking of the semifinal beating San Diego last season, of course, the team was a real thorn to San Diego's side, and this is pretty much the rematch of the semifinals. So San Diego will really come out there flying. How do you plan to contain the pressure for the upcoming game?
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of weapons. I think you have to deal with a lot of different looks that they give. I personally feel like we've worked on a formation and like a game concept that allows us to handle the majority, if not all, of their threats. And I think it's, at the end of the day, more about execution of that game plan than the actual game plan itself. So it's just, again, focusing on set pieces. I think they have 2 goals in 2 games on set pieces. So that's going to be huge for us. I think Alex is always a threat. I think we're always going to be aware of her. I think Jaden Shaw is one of the best young players in the league right now, if not the world. I think that they have a ton of talent on their team, and I don't think we are surprised or unprepared for that. I think that we need to make the adjustments for ourselves and put ourselves in the best position, because we also are a fantastic team and have so many weapons and are so capable of creating attack as well as defending the best in the world. So I'm looking forward to the matchup.
All right. Thanks, Nico. Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Phoebe.
you.